Good morning. Today is Friday, June the 5th. It is Friday. Go ahead and take your packets out. Have them in front of you. Open them to Friday, June 5th. We're continuing to look at graphs. Again, this should be a review. And I will share my screen. All right, so you're going to notice that today your problems are going to be, we're going to do some we do's, and then you have about 4 you do's that you're going to do. Some of the you do's you've seen before, and then some of them you have to figure out what they are. So let's continue. Let's begin with the first we do, and it reads, Sasha's class is collecting cans for a recycling project. The graph below shows how many cans were collected each week. So the title of our graph is Cans Collected. Our first label over here is the number of cans collected. And let's look at our scale. Now, our scale is in increments of, this is nothing marked here, but then it jumps to 10. But if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that doesn't work. So that means that our scale is not in increments of 1. So let's try counting by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So our scale is in increments of 2. If I continue on, that's 12, 14, 16, 18, and there's 20. Excuse me, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. So our scale ranges from 0 to 40, and it's in increments of 2. So on the side where the scale is, this represents the number of cans collected. And remember, our title is Can Collected. Then the other label listed are the weeks. You have week 1, and notice that it is just above 10. So it's at the first one, right above 10. Notice we have week 2. Notice where it is, in between 10 and 20. Week 3, notice where it is. And week 4, notice where it is. Okay. Now let's go to our big question. Our job is to figure out how many more cans were collected in week 1. I'm sorry, collected in week 3 and 4 combined than in weeks 1 and 2 combined. Computer's acting crazy. Okay, you want to slide up. Okay, maybe that's better. All right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to underline our big question. And our big question says, how many more cans were collected week 3 and 4 combined than in weeks 1 and 2 combined? Okay, so I need to box in how many more. How many more tells us that we're going to do what? At some point, we're going to what? You're exactly right. So annotate subtraction above it. Collected in weeks 3. Circle it. And 4. Big word here, combined. When you combine something, that means you put it together. So we annotate addition above it. Then in weeks 1 and 2. And again, we see the word combine. Okay, so this is a multi-step problem because we're going to do some subtraction and some addition. Now, notice that this is a bar graph. We've seen bar graphs several times. And remember that our scale is in increments of 2. So let's look at week 1. Let's first label where our bars are for each week. So you label week 1. All right, go ahead and label week 2. Notice where it is on the scale. Label week 3. Label week 4. Okay, so labeled for week 1, you should have put 12. Because again, there are increments of 2. Here's 10, and 2 more makes 12. So that's where week 1 is. Let's go to week 2. Notice where week 2 is. All right, week 2 is at 16. So week 2 is right here. And that's 10, 12, 14, and then this would be 16. All right, then go to week 3. Let's see where it is. It's 6. It's 16. Okay, go to week 3. I know the solid line is 20. And this line goes to about here in that bar. So that's 20, 22, 24. So this one goes to about 24. And then week 5 is right on the line. And it's on the line of 30. Okay. So now that I know how many cans were collected each week, week 1, 12 cans were collected. Week 2, 16 cans were collected. 3, 24 cans. 4 would be 30 cans. All right, now go back to our big question. How many more cans were collected in week 3 and 4? So I must combine these two. So these two will be combined. Then in weeks 1 and 2. So these two here would be combined. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add up week 1 and 2. So we add the 12 plus the 16. And I'll pause and let you do it. All right, 6 and 2, we know it's 8. And 1 and 1, we know it's 2. So this would be, this represents weeks 1 and 2. That's combined. Now I got that answer. All right, now the next thing I must do is combine weeks 3 and 4. So combine 24 plus the 30 and get your answer. All right, you're exactly right. So you should have gotten 54. And 54 is from combining weeks 3 and 4. Okay, so that's how I got my 54. Go back to my big question. How many more weeks were collected week 3 and 4 than in week 1 and 2? So now, remember it said how many more? How many more tells me I'm going to do some subtracting. So I'm going to take my 54 and I'm going to minus my 28. And get an answer. Figure it out. All right, I know I can't take 8 from 4, so I have to regroup. It becomes a 4. And 10 plus 4 gives me 14. So 14 minus 8 gives me 6. And 4 minus 2 gives me 2. So my final answer is 26. So then I go down here to see, and that's what I thought. So that's how I get my answer for that problem. How many more? There were 26 more cans collected from 3 and 4 than there were from 1 and 2. Okay. All right, now go to your next question. It's also a we do, and it is a line plot. You've seen line plots a lot of times now. Only thing you need to remember about a line plot is that each X stands for something, and here it stands for one student. So here you have a key with this one, so you didn't have to figure it out. All right, it reads, the line plot shows the numbers of students signed up for different numbers of events on field day at their school. Your title is Students in Field Day Events. Number of events are from 0 all the way down to 10, okay? So here's 0, here's 1. So 2 students didn't sign up for any. Now let's count and see how many signed up for one event. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 students signed up for one event. 2 students didn't sign up for any. All right, how many signed up for 2 events? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 students signed up for 2 events. How many signed up for 3 events? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 students signed up for 3 events as well. 4 events has 2 students. 5 events has 2 students. 1, 2, 3, 4 events for, 6 events has 4 students. 7 events has 1. 8 has 1. 0 for 9. And 1 for 10. Okay. Now let's go to our big question. How many students signed up for more than 2 events? Okay. So let's underline our big question. How many students signed up for? And we look for students that signed up for more than 2 events. More than 2. Okay. So remember on your number line that this is the number of events right here, 2. You're looking for more than 2. So more than means that it is greater than 2 events. So what we're looking for has to be greater than 2 events. Okay. So that means that you're going to be looking from everything from 3 on up. And remember, each X stands for a student. And we've already put the number of students above each X. So you need to figure out what your final answer will be. Okay, I give you a few minutes to do it. All right, so what you should have done was, this was 7. You take the 7 plus, then you have 2. 7 plus 2, we know is how much? That equals 9. All right, so then you have another 2. Add 2 more. 9 plus 2, we know is 11. This time add the 4 plus 4. So we're at 15. Is 1, 2, and 3, plus 3 more. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So now 15 plus the 3 gives you your answer. So basically all you did was took all of the numbers from more than 2 and added them up. So your final answer for the we do should be 18. You're exactly right. Okay. All right, so I'll give you a few minutes to write that down. And you can always pause the video if you need additional time. All right, your next 4 problems are you-dos. So you're going to do the next 4 by yourself. Okay, and remember for this one is a line apply. Each X here stands for one classmate. So each one of these stands for a classmate. How many classmates have 4 or more people living? 4 or more. That's very similar to the problem we just did. So think about what we just did for that. Your next one, we did this one a couple of days ago, so I'm not going to go over that one. But this is the exact same problem we went over. All right, this one is about visitors at a zoo. You're looking for how many more visit the pandas and visiting the giraffes. So you're looking at, make sure you can understand your scale, how many increments it is in, and then how many more is important. Tells you you're going to do what? Exactly right. You're going to subtract. So you're going to do some subtraction there. Okay. So once you answer those questions, please make sure you go to Kahoot and you put your answers in Kahoots. Please put your first and last name in. Please only do it one time. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.